Welcome to Burnaby, where the Richmond Ravens have made the trip out today to take on the Burnaby Wildcats. Richmond coming off of a win last night, looking for a second in net today is the AP Mendoza, looking to start for the Richmond Ravens. I see Hernandez, McDonald, Miguel, Sear, and I think it's going to be last night's goaltender, Amadei. No, looks like me. No, it is Amadei coming out. Puck is dropped. And then the said it was a false start, so they're going to try again. A couple seconds ticked up the clock, but that doesn't matter as the Ravens pick up the puck and carry it into the Burnaby zone. They lose a handle on it just at the top of the circles, and now they try to come up the wall. Amade seals that off. She puts it in for McDonald. Now the puck comes into the Burnaby zone. They put it down ice, and the clean sheet is going to let it go all the way to the other end for icing. You get a stoppage on the play with 14:39 remaining on the clock. Puck making its way down to the Burnaby zone. It's going to be to the right side of the goaltender. Sear to take the face off. Puck drop face off one to the wall by Burnaby. Sear gives pressure there. She turns the puck into the feet of the defender, and now the Burnaby works their way up ice. They get into the Raven zone. Her wing is back to pick it up. She backhands it through her high slot and now picked up by David. David tries to chip it out, held the blue bear, now comes back out. Chip back into the Raven zone, now back out into the neutral zone. Turned over again to Burnaby and they chip it to the middle. And now the Ravens get a couple of sticks on that one. Wing with a good stick check there to keep the Burnaby Wildcats to the neutral zone. Air crossing pass knocked off by Wing, and now David with a couple of moves. She loses the handle on it though. She was reached back into her own zone as Burnaby's on a change. Now pass up for Wing. Wing unable to handle it cleanly. Gets chipped back into the Raven zone and onto Macy's stick. Macy winding it up. Now she's getting chased. She drops back and then with a backhand puts it into the corner. Now back out to the blue line where Sear is battling for it. Ravens try to force it up the wall now to the middle, and it's going to be offside called against the Burnaby Wildcats. Puck draw face off one cleanly by the Richmond Ravens. It comes back to Amadei. She chips it forward looking for Tran. Tran unable to carry it. Now working into a shooting position. Shot right on. Easily handled by Mendoza. He gloves it down and holds on to it. And the face-off will be to the near side, I think. Nope, far side. Left side of Mendoza in the Ravens zone, trying not to take the face-off. Face-off won by Burnaby. They're going to carry it back to the point. Their pass attempt gets past the defender and down the near side and all the way into Burnaby zone. They clear it around, but Tran's waiting for it there. She unable to handle it cleanly, and now Burnaby comes back out on their breakout. Burnaby up the far side. They carry it deep. Play continues as the puck goes in behind the net. Tran has it on her stick. Tran cuts to the middle now. She's looking for some open ice on her backhand. She makes center ice and fires it in and goes for a change. Off the bench, Sear in to put pressure on Burnaby. She slows them up as they try to put it up the wall. Now Hernandez with it. Hernandez looking for Sear on the near side, jumping up on the play. Sorry, she backed off now as she saw some pressure coming. Sear, the defenseman, backs out into the blue neutral zone. Now the puck comes over to the near side. And now the Ravens turn it back the other way. Sear with a stick spears it into the zone, and now it comes back to the blue line where Tran comes off the bench, puts it back into the Burnaby end. Tran takes a hit to make the play, and now Hernandez and Tran work it down low. It comes to the side of the net, now cleared off of Hernandez and down the ice. It's going to end up being right on net. Oh, no, it got wide, so it's going to be icing on the call on the play. Whistle goes with 11:56 remaining in the first period. Face off to the right side of the Burnaby Wildcats. Goaltender Miguel out to take the face off. She's got Basket and wing with her. Back on the blue line, David Macy. Puck drop, one cleanly by Miguel. It comes back to Macy. Macy with a shot, hits a body in front, and now into the slot. Miguel tries to dig it out. She gets a hold of it, shot, hits a body, and goes just wide. Burnaby loses a handle on it as Miguel picks it up, and now she comes back off the wall for David. David puts it into the slot, now gets chipped off the player. Burnaby comes back the other way. Burnaby on the near side, coming up against Macy. She chips it around her, but gets it deep. And David gets it on her stick, and it gets back out to the blue line. Walking in from the blue line, shot blocked there by Miguel. Now it comes over to the near side, down low. From down low, they try to put it to the front of the net. Macy blocks that one. Now back to the point, shot through traffic. It bounces around there, but doesn't make its way into the net. Basket, she's going to backhand it behind the net, over to the near side for a wing. And the Ravens are trying to slow it down. Now back to the blue line. A shot from the blue line, handled cleanly by Mendoza. She's going to hold on to that one. Tran over to take the face off for the Ravens on the right side of Mendoza. Puck is dropped. One over to the wall. Now put towards the net. Ravens put it back out to the outside. Now it's on the stick of the Richmond Ravens as they carry it up. Amade passes it to the middle for Tran. Tran on her backhand, unable to handle it cleanly, and it gets to the defender for the Burnaby Wildcats. She puts it up, but picked off there by McDonald. McDonald unable to get a clean shot away, and it goes back the other way. Burnaby with some speed to the outside. Now they stop up, shoot it on net. Save by Mendoza. She holds on to that one. Face off to the left side of Mendoza, deep in the Raven zone. Tran and Kay out there with Tran. Face off drop now cutting to the net. The Wildcat or Burnaby gets pushed to the outside. Ravens now with it on the stick. McDonald stepping in now from the slot, shot wide of the net. McDonald's going to pick it up. McDonald puts it up the wall, picked up again by the Wildcats. Ravens battling for it, picked up in the high slot, now passed over to the far side on the backhand of the player, though. She can't get a shot away. Now she puts it back into the slot. Now it comes over on the Kay's stick. Kay's going to carry it up ice. Kay gets across center. Now she takes it off her backhand, tries to cut to the forehand, and she loses a handle on it, but Tran picks it up. Tran with it. She drops it for her sister. She's going to wheel with it. Down into the corner, she puts it. Now stops up with a little button hook and works her way into the shooting position. She puts it through the blue paint, and now Hernandez off the bench comes out with it. Hernandez backs it out to the blue line for Sear. Sear walks the blue, now puts it back down low for Hernandez. Hernandez lets that one go down in behind the net. Now the play comes up the wall on the near side of the hash marks, and the breakout for Burnaby converts, and they fire it off the glass and down the ice as they go for a change. Sear from behind her net as the Ravens looking for a 5-person breakout. Couple of moves there by the Ravens, and now they come up ice 2-on-2. Sear to the far side. She works her way out over, dumps it in behind, looking for Hernandez. Hernandez in to play it. Hernandez stops up behind the net. Now the puck comes free onto Sear's stick. Sear kicks it forward, tries to backhand it short side of the net. It's hit the side of the net, now over to Hernandez on the half wall. Play continues into the corner, and now Burnaby tries to clear it out. Sear holds the blue, and she puts it back in. That gets on the stick of one of the Burnaby Wildcats, and the Ravens now battling for it right at the Burnaby blue line. Puck gets kicked a few more times, and now it comes out on the neutral zone. Sear turns and fires it back into traffic. Ravens try to pick it up. Wing gets her stick lifted. Ravens jumping on that play, and now gets chipped around by her, but Hernandez is waiting for it, and she puts it back down ice. Play in behind the Burnaby zone, net. Ravens in after Miguel. Tries to pick it up. Puck comes up the wall. Back after it is Sear. Sear battles off a couple of purple jerseys, but they pick it up and take it in behind the net. From behind the net, they try to take it down low. Ravens double team them. Now a battle behind the net. Sear and Miguel fighting for control of the puck. They get it out to Wing. Wing loses a handle on her. She tries to walk up the middle. Now onto the stick of Sear. Sear reverses the play, looking to open it up for wing. Play down low, and they try to put it back to the blue line. That doesn't make it there. Now on the stick of the Burnaby Wildcats. Burnaby, drop it back for the defender. She's going to put it back down low. Play continues as the puck goes down into the corner again. Burnaby working the cycle down low, trying to wear out the defending Ravens. They get it down ice. It's not going to have enough for icing as the forwards head for a change. Basquette looking to put pressure on him. There's a stretch play made by Burnaby. They're going to chip it in onto the stick of Macy. Macy puts it forward for Tran. Tran with it on her stick. She works her way in. Tran on the outside. She works looking to the front of the net. Now she puts it into the high slot. It just comes back to her. For outstretched poke check though, and now she doesn't get called for offside as she pulls it from the wrong side of the blue line. So the Ravens get away with one there. They carry it in. Ravens unable to capitalize as the puck comes out the side. Held in though by the Ravens defender, and Kay turns and fires it right on. Saved by the goaltender, who holds on to that. The face-off will be the left side of the Burnaby Wildcats. Goaltender deep in the zone. Trying to take the face-off. The puck is dropped. Face-off won by the Ravens. They're going to get it back to the blue line. David with a shot. She hits a body in front. It goes out the far side. Now a play comes around the near side. McDonald's waiting for it on the wall. She made a great move. Another one, and she works her way to the net, but her backhand just goes wide. Puck back out to the blue line. From the blue line, they try to chip it back in. Fan on that one. Now McDonald has it. McDonald, she cuts back into the corner. McDonald with two purple jerseys on her. Now she puts it in the blue paint. It bounces around there, and they put it in the back of the net. Kay picks up the garbage in front to put it in the back of the net. The Ravens ahead 1-0 with 6 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in the first period. Ravens have a full-scale change here. Hernandez out to take the face-off. Puck is dropped. Face-off one back to the blue line by the Ravens. The Ravens put it over to the near side. Tran with it on her stick. She chips it forward. Ends up on the stick of the defender for the Wildcats. Burnaby puts it into the Ravens zone and gets past Amadei and down into deep in the Ravens zone. Now Amadei is going to get called for a trip as Sear touches up and the whistle goes. Ravens go to the penalty kill. The penalized player makes her way to the box. Nishi and Sear out there for the penalty killing defense. Tran are forward line. Penalty killers unable to handle that one. It comes back to the blue line. From the blue line there. Comes to the top of the circles, now to the point. Now down the far side. A shot from the point. Saved by the goaltender, and she holds on to that. She stood tall on that one and holds on to the rebound as it hit her high and fell into her glove. Face off to the left side of Mendoza. Tran to take the face off. Puck drop. Face off one cleanly by the Burnaby team. Wildcats walk into the top of the circle, and now they pass it over. Top of the circle on the near side as they're trying to set up a 1-3-1 from the point. It goes across to the far side, and now they're set up. Pass across the zone. Now unable to handle it cleanly. Now into the slot. Back out to the top of the circles, and a great stick there by the Ravens forward to get it out of the zone. Oh, didn't quite get it out of the zone. Now they get it on the stick, Joe, with a diving play. They get it out of the zone. Great play by Sear, and Tran gets chased. Hernandez out off the bench to replace Tran. A back check there by the younger Tran. But the Burnaby team gets it into the Raven zone. Now their pass across, interrupted by Tran. It comes over to the near side on the stick of the Ravens. Macy with some patience gets it to Tran. Tran gets double teamed. Now she gets it off the defender's stick. It comes all the way back in and onto Macy's stick. Macy holds onto it. Now she fires it up ice. It gets past or into the neutral zone as Tran Gets a stick on that. Now off the bench, McDonald gets away with one there as Tran was a couple of feet from the boards when she touched it, but she works her way to the net. McDonald with a shot. And that stays out of the net as the goaltender covers up. 27 seconds remains in the penalty to the Richmond Ravens. Hernandez to take the face off. Puck is dropped, picked up there by the Burnaby team. They chip it forward, and Macy keeps it down low. McDonald tries to go forehand, backhand, and they read her and get off the puck off her stick, and now they fire it down low into the Ravens zone, and that's going to be icing. 4 minutes and 10 seconds remains in the period. 12 seconds for the penalty to the Richmond Ravens. Hamadi set to get on. Miguel, Sear, David Macy out there for the Richmond Ravens. Miguel to take the face off. She wins that back onto David's stick. David fires that towards the net. It's kicked off the pad and wide by the goaltender. On the far side now, it gets out to the blue line. Ravens hold it in. They shoot it towards the net. It hits a body, and now the defender puts it forward. Hamadi out of the box as the Burnaby Wildcats put it deep in the Ravens zone from behind the net. They put it back to the blue line. From the blue line, it comes out to the point. From the point, a shot hits bodies in front and goes wide of the net. Now back to the slot. The Ravens, Macy comes together with Hamadi. And now both players are going to retreat back. Ravens unable to get a handle on that. Now getting into a shooting position. A shot saved by the goaltender, Mendoza. The Ravens with 3 defenders on there. Got away with one, or a little lucky there. It's got a little scrambling in their own end. So Sear, Hernandez, Basquet, Wing, and I think that's Nishi over there. Puck comes over the near side on Wing's stick. Wing reverses it back. Now chipped off the wall, held in. But, oh, no, it gets past the defender and her partner has to retreat back. Play put across ice and over the stretch pass to the far side. Sear reads that and stops it and puts it back in. Now the Ravens with some battle down low in the Burnaby end. It comes around to the near side. Wing tries to pull that off the wall, and now the breakout converts. Sear gets a stick on that. Now onto Hernandez's stick. Sorry, yeah, it's Hernandez covering for D there. He gets it to Sear. Sear puts it up ice, touched by Wing, and onto the stick of the Burnaby team. It comes back to Sear, down into and they go back to the Burnaby zone. Burnaby picks it up in their own zone, and they come up the wall on the near side. Now they pass it to the middle. It gets chipped to the outside as Wing and Sear come together. Wing tries to pull it off the wall. Now onto Sear's stick. Sear is going to chip it up and now picked up by Hernandez. Hernandez, she tries to backhand it forward for Wing. Wing got 2 strides and then it pulled off of her stick as the Burnaby Wildcats put it back into the Raven zone. And now Sear with it behind the net. She gets some help from Hernandez. Puck over to the wall on the near side. Far side. Now Hernandez has it. Hernandez reverses the play back to Sear. Sear looking for a place to go with it. She's going to cut to the middle. Loses a handle on it. Now Burnaby with it. Burnaby chips it back down low, and Hernandez picks it up. She's going to carry it behind her own net now. She looks for Wing on the wall, and that gets picked off by one of the Burnaby Wildcats. Now Hernandez is going to pick it up. She puts it back in behind her net for Sear. Sear gets chased out, but she reverses the play. Her button hook comes back over to the near side as Wing tries to play it. Now onto the defensive stick for Wildcats as they put it back down low. Sear from behind the net. She overskates it. Now Hernandez has it. Hernandez finds, I think that's Kay on the far side. Now Kay loses the handle on it. Walking out into the shooting position. Shot saved made by the Richmond Ravens. And now a penalty is going to be called against the Richmond Ravens after an extremely long shift. Sear is going to make her way to the box. Body checking is the call. A minute 18 remains in the first period. Ravens ahead, 1-0. Face off to the left side of Mendoza. Puck is dropped. It goes to the wall, and from the wall out to the blue line. From the blue line, they go out to the point. From the point, now a shot towards the net, saved by the goaltender. Rebound cleared out to the wall by the Richmond Ravens. Great job there by Tran to make sure that she controlled the play. She tries to put it off the wall, but it gets picked off by the Burnaby Wildcats, and now they work, cycle it down low again. From the outside, Burnaby puts it back out to the blue line. They're going to shoot it towards the net. Ravens get a stick on it, but unable to clear. Now Burnaby with it. They try to put it across to an open player. It jumps over everybody's stick and goes to the wall on the far side. Now a battle for it. Both players battling, and it's going to be the Ravens called for holding. Oh, no, sorry. Burnaby gets called for holding against the Richmond Raven Tran as they were in a good battle on the half wall. We're going to be 4-on-4 with the puck making its way all the way down into the Burnaby Wildcat zone. 39.8 seconds remaining on the clock for the first period. Fernandez, McDonald, Macy, and David are your players out on the ice right now. Puck comes onto Fernandez's stick, back to Macy. Macy drops it for David. David puts it over, looking for McDonald. McDonald, she curls around, puts it towards the net. It comes out the near side. Macy steps up. She's going to put it back to the blue line for Hernandez, who's covering for her. Back down for Macy. Macy cycles around. She loses the handle on it, but keeps it in. Hernandez with it. Hernandez with 20 seconds remaining on the clock, works to the outside. And now from behind the net, she comes right out front, shoots it, and it gets kicked out of the net by one of the defenders. Now walking with it is David. David tries to feather it to the front of the net, and that hits a body out to the outside. Now the pass up the ice. But Wilson, McDonald turns and fires it, but that's going to do it for the first period. Shots on goal, 6 for the Burnaby Wildcats, 4 for the Richmond Ravens after the first period. Welcome back to the second period as the Ravens pick up the puck 4-on-4. They cut to the outside. Sear with it on her stick. Sear working her way to the outside. Now she's going to come in behind the net. Sear looking for a wraparound. She shoots it right on. Saved by the goalie. Oh. 29 seconds remaining in the 4-on-4, and then the Ravens will go on a power play. Hernandez to take the face-off. Puck is dropped. Pick the face-off one by Burnaby. They're going to carry it up the other side, but the pass just a little bit ahead, picked off by Amadei, and it gets back to the blue line. Comes back to Amadei. Amadei, she's going to fire it back down low. 12 seconds remains on the 4-on-4 here, and the Burnaby team is going to try and keep it down low. Ravens are going to keep it down low in the zone. Sear walks the blue line. Now over to Amadei on the far side. Amadei with a shot towards the net. It comes out the near side. The youngers here heading across, and now onto the ice is Miguel. Miguel calling for it. She's going to pick it off. Now a 5-on-4. Miguel loses a handle on it. Now back, she picks it back up. Miguel stops up. Now she's going to put it back out to the half wall. Hernandez back to the blue line. From the blue line, shot towards the net. It tips just wide of the net. Miguel in after it. Miguel battling on the wall. She gets some help from Hernandez. Hernandez chips it to an open wing. Coming over from the open wing is McDonald. McDonald puts it back to the blue line. Walking through the blue line, a shot on net. Saved by the goalie. Jumping on the play is Sears. Ravens have to be careful as there is a player coming out of the box. Read well by McDonald. She puts it back in the zone as the outlet pass doesn't meet its mark. Now Hernandez and Miguel fired back down low, and the Burnaby team coming out across the blue line. Burnaby into the Raven zone. Now they're on a change. They try to carry it in behind the net, and now over to the wall on the far side. Back down low. Burnaby reverses the play. Now they try to put it out to the high slot. Shot right on. Save made by the goaltender who holds on to that. Face off to the right side of Mendoza. Sear take the face off. Puck is dropped. Face off won by Burnaby. They try to put a shot towards the net. Ravens fired out to the outside. Now back to the blue line. Burnaby's going to put it back down low. Macy unable to handle it cleanly. Macy picks it off the wall. She tries to put it behind the net. It ends up on the stick of one of the Burnaby team. Wildcats back to the blue line, and now they pass it across the zone. Wing reads that one perfectly. Wing works her way, and she loses a handle on it though, but pulls it down low, and now she puts it across the zone. Shot from Basket hits the crossbar and goes out the other side. Now the play back down into the Raven zone. David after it. She's got some pressure on her. David pulls it off the blue paint there, and now they get it out into the neutral zone before Burnaby picks it up. Burnaby passes D to D, and now from their blue line, they cut back to the middle. They try to get it past Basket. She's having none of that. Now the Burnaby gets their own rebound off Basket's shin pads, and the puck changes hands yet again in the neutral zone. David steps up. She's going to take it. Now she loses it. Now it's on the Macy stick. Macy forward for Basket. Basket for Wing. Wing carries it in on the near side. Now she carries it down low, protecting it with her body. It comes back out to the point. Macy overskates it. Macy, she takes it back down into the corner. From the corner now, Kay steps up. Kay working it down low, and now over to the side of the net, and the goaltender is going to hold on to that one, and we get a stoppage of play with 16 minutes. 39 seconds remaining in the second period. Ravens ahead, 1-0. Tran to take the face-off for the Ravens. Puck is dropped, face-off won by the Ravens. It gets back to the blue line. It's going to be fired in by Sears from behind the net. Tran goes after it. She gets bodied off the puck. And now Tran's going to take a penalty as she retaliates on the call, and they're just waiting for the Ravens to touch it. There's some speed from the Burnaby working their way into the Raven zone, and now they get chased to the outside. Burnaby tries to cut to the middle, and Sear touches up, and that's going to do it as the whistle goes, and Tran makes her way to the box. Face-off will be to the left side of Mendoza, deep in the Raven zone. Out to take the face-off, I see Amadei and Nishi with Miguel and Hernandez. Miguel to take the face-off. Puck is dropped, face-off won cleanly by Miguel. Nishi takes it to the wall and then eats it in the corner. Nishi loses her footing as she gets bodied off the puck and now comes back underneath of her. Nishi, she's wearing a couple of hits there, but the Burnaby team finally pulls it out. Play goes over to the far side. as Hernandez gets a stick on it. Now another one, and now we have a 2-on-1 the other way as Hernandez and Miguel work their way up shorthanded. Hernandez with a shot on net. Play continues as Hernandez has it behind the net. She tries to button hook and realizes the ref's right there, so now she just carries it. Nobody's touching Hernandez. Hernandez is killing the penalty by herself. Nishi now gets it on her stick. She dumps it in onto the stick of Burnaby. The Wildcats with it. They're going to put it across the zone and not skate out with it. They convert the pass up into the Ravens zone, and now the Ravens try to put it up the ice. It's going to end up being offside, though, as we get a whistle and 15:22 remaining in the second period. 105 remains in the penalty to Tran. Sear take the face off. She wins that one. She tries to take it to the wall. Now it's on the stick of one of the Wildcats. Wildcats with a couple of one-touch plays, but now they get on the stick of David, and she's going to make no mistake to get it all the way down the ice. Might even register as a shot on goal as the goalie comes out to play it. And now the puck goes back out into the neutral zone. Macy's going to pick that up. She's got someone on her backside, but she turns and fires it up ice. Through the neutral zone, the Wildcats pick it up, and now they carry it in. 39 seconds remaining on this penalty of the Richmond Ravens. Sear picks it up. She gets it out to the blue line and now into the neutral zone. Wildcats touch up again, and now the pass to the near side. David comes up and ties up her player. Now she gets some help there from Tran. It comes back into the Raven zone, but Macy's going to pick it up. She fires it all the way around to the far side, and Sears right there. Sears gets it the length of the ice, and a couple of Ravens defenders go for a change. Goaltender comes out to play that for the Wildcats, and now a stretch pass up off the wall. Raven Sear reads that. She can't attack, though, as she had to wait for her sister to come out of the zone. But now there's a battle for it right at the blue line. Miguel comes in to help out, and we're done on the penalty kill as Miguel takes it deep, and the Ravens are 5-on-5. Wildcats reverse the play. First one there is Basquet. She loses a handle on it, tries to get it back, but now it's on the stick of the Wildcats. They put it out towards the blue line, and now the play is high in the air. Touched there by the Burnaby Wildcats before the Ravens did, so the play continues. Burnaby down low. They try to put it up the wall, sealed off by the Raven Sear. She's going to put it back down low. In there for the first person is Basquet. Basquet from behind the goal line. She passes it up onto the stick of the Ravens. And now Wing puts it back into the middle. It gets just past Basquet and Tran, and now fired back deep by Sear. From down low, Wing battling for it. She's going to get some help from Tran as the puck comes out on the wall. It gets chipped off the half wall, and now the Burnaby Wildcats have it. Burnaby chips it forward. Now they're going to put it all the way down the ice, but they didn't make it across center, so it's icing on the plate. 13-14 remains in the second period. Face off to the left side of the Burnaby goaltender. Tran out to take the face off. Puck is dropped. Face off won by Burnaby. They take it into the corner. Now down low. Kay waiting for them behind the net. Now comes to the near side and up the middle as Burnaby works their way up ice. Burnaby cuts over to the far side with speed. Now they're trying to get a shot off. They put it back up the middle. It comes back out to the point. From the point, the shot towards the net, save made by Mendoza. Now from the near far side back to the near side. From the near side, off the wall, back to the defense. She walks out. She takes a shot towards the net. Now a shot from the slot. It goes off the crossbar and out. And now near side picked up there by McDonald, and she's going to clear it forward. The Ravens unable to clear it out, though, as it gets onto the stick of the Burnaby Wildcats. Amadei in after it. Gets cleared around to the far side. McDonald's going to get on top of that one. She tries to clear it down ice and does. We're going to have a icing against the Richmond Ravens with 12:22 remaining in the second period. Well, there's been a crossbar both directions this game. Goaltenders are showing some love to their red paint. Hernandez out to take the face off. From behind the net, Macy carries it. Macy stops up and she reverses the play over for Tran. Tran with a great pass across finds Sear, and the Ravens work their way up ice. Sear stops up now. She's going to shoot it. She hits a skate in front. Picked up, though, by the Ravens forward. It comes back to David. David unable to handle it cleanly. Now back to Hernandez. Hernandez across for Macy. Macy with a 1T and it hits a body and goes out of play. Face-off will stay inside the zone. It went off of one of the Wildcat players. It's going to be the left side of the goaltender, deep in the Wildcat zone. Hernandez to take the face-off. Puck drop, face-off won by Burnaby. Burnaby's going to put it in behind the net and over to the near side. From the near side, they put it up the wall. David reads that as she steps up. She puts it on net, and the goaltender makes the save and holds on to that. As we have 11:47 remaining in the second period. Ravens ahead 1-0. Hernandez stays on for the face-off. He's got Sear Tran with her back on the blue line. David Macy. Face-off won by the Ravens, but it's picked off by the Wildcats, and now the Ravens take over. They go D to D, and now bump pass off the wall looking for Hernandez, but it gets past her, and now the defender for the Wildcats. She does a double back, and now the puck comes back out to the blue line, where Sear gets it and puts it back on Macy's stick. Macy with her head up. She's going to chip that play forward, and now Hernandez chips it into the zone. She drops it back looking for Tran. Tran back for Hernandez. Play continues in the corner. Now it gets chipped back out. Picked up now by Basquet. Short side. Coming in after it was Tran, but now the play comes back out to the blue line and into the neutral zone. Hernandez gets it on her stick and fires it back deep. She's going to go for a change as Basquet goes in to put pressure on. Now the play comes up the near side. David is going to be the first one there. She tries to put it back in. That gets stopped out, chipped by her. Get some help there from Sear. Sear turning and firing it back towards the Wildcat zone. It gets in the side of the zone just barely before the Wildcats carry it out. And now the Wildcats from the outside working their way into the Raven zone. From behind the net, Wildcats still control it. Now back off to the blue line. From the blue line, they're going to chip it down to the half wall. Now from the half wall, Miguel puts some pressure on. And a battle ensues. Now the Wildcats get it. They're going to put it back out to the half wall. Now chip back down low. Off the wall and now fired down by David. And we're going to have icing on the play with 10:22 remaining in the second period. Face off to the left side of Mendoza in the Raven zone. Puck is dropped. Face off won by the Wildcats. It's going to be carried or put in down low. From down low, they center it. That's chipped to the outside. Now a shot right on, save by Mendoza. 10 minutes, 12 seconds remains in the second period. Trying to take the face off for the Richmond Ravens to the left side of the goaltender. Face off won by the Wildcats. They're going to try and put it in down low. They get it there as Sear watches. Now over to the far side, back to the blue line. From the blue line, McDonald puts some pressure on. Now it goes back down low and to the near side of the net. They bring it. From behind the net, Wildcats put it back out to the point. That play doesn't connect, and now Kay's off to the races. Kay and Tran together. Kay with a quick move there on her backhand, and now she tries to cut forehand and lose the handle on it as she went to the blue paint. Now the play continues back the other way as the Wildcats carried in with speed. Wildcats making their way in. They cut past the first player and now cleared out to the wall by the Ravens. Kay with it on her stick. Kay tries to put it up the near wall. That's sealed off, and now she gets some help from Tran, and Tran with a little bit of speed gets it out into the neutral zone. Kay comes in to help out. Now to Sear's stick. Sear across for Sear, and now it goes back up ice. Now it ends up on Tran's stick, Sear, Kay's stick. That gets turned over, and now the Wildcats come back the other way. On to Sear's stick. She has to be careful. Now it gets turned over in the slot, and a shot wide of the net from point blank with three Wildcats right on the doorstep. Ravens get it down ice as they head for a change. The goaltender makes the stop. So no icing on the play. Puck comes over onto the near side and now up the wall. Ravens with it. Nishi, she just chips it forward. Hernandez battling for it, and it gets put back to Amadei. Amadei's going to carry it in behind her own net. Amadei with it on her stick. She passes it up. It gets to the blue line, but held there by the Wildcats. Now it goes back into the corner. Amadei picks it up. She puts it back up the wall for Tran. Tran tries to spear it forward. Now he gets held as the wall is sealed. Amadei reverses the play for Nishi on the near side. Nishi reverses it back. Picked up off the wall. Now the Ravens pick it up again. Ravens push it to the outside. Now the Wildcats out. They try to put it back out to the blue line and now try to walk in. Hernandez steps in to help out. Now under Hernandez's stick. Hernandez carries it back in behind the net. Hernandez with a little bit of room now. She's going to take a quick breath and now work her way up the near wall. With a couple of moves, she makes her way through the neutral zone and a chip and a chase, and she's going to go off to the races. Hernandez puts it back to the blue line. Play read by the Burnaby, but Nishi able to get it back to Hernandez. Now a battle on the half wall with Sear and Hernandez and the three purple jerseys. Puck goes in towards the net, onto the stick of the defender, and she's going to put it up on the wall on the near side. Jumping on the play is Nishi. Now over to the far side. Puck is going to go all the way down the ice, and we should have icing on this one. The other direction is it's going to make its way back down into the Wildcat zone. Miguel, Basket, and Wing out there for the Richmond Raven forwards. David and Macy back on the blue line. Puck is dropped. Miguel wins that one. She puts it to Basket. Basket backhands it, but goes off a stick high in the air, and the goaltender gloves that down. We're going to do it all over again. The left side of the goaltender deep in the Burnaby zone. Miguel lines up, and now face-off won by Miguel, but picked up there by the Wildcats. Wildcats with some speed, but a good stick by Macy at the blue line to hold it in. Now the Wildcats try to come up the near side, but Basket has none of that. She's going to keep it deep, and she gets some help there from Wing. Now the Wildcats around to the far side. Miguel goes to stop them, so they get rid of the puck. Now fired back in by Macy. Wildcats try to come up the near side. David seals the wall off, and now we have a play back the other way as the Wildcats carry it to the neutral zone. Miguel gets chased as Macy stops up, and she's going to pick it off as they try to put it out front. Macy, with lots of patience, goes in behind the net. Now she stops up and looks for a place to go with it. She's going to go up the middle as the Wildcats are on a change. She'll lose the handle on her own zone, and now there's going to be a shot right on, saved by the goaltender, who picks up the rebound and holds on to that with 6 minutes, 30 seconds remaining in the second period. Ravens 1. Burnaby Wildcats 0. Face off to the right side of the goaltender in the Ravens zone. Face off goes in behind the Ravens net. Sear puts it off the glass, and it's going to make its way to the blue line, but not out. It's held in. Now on the Tran stick. Tran unable to clear now. Now she does. On to McDonald's stick. McDonald fights up a check, and she gets some help from Kay. Kay sidesteps hit there, and now she tries to cut to the net. Kay leaving it for McDonald. McDonald trying to get it on her stick, but she loses her footing, and now the play comes back the other way. There's a race for it. Now a good stick there by Sear to take control. Sear passes it over for Tran. Tran on the near side off her backhand, gets it out to the neutral zone for Kay. Kay tries to chip it to the middle. Tran helping out. The play comes back onto the stick of Sear. Sear goes over to McDonald. McDonald back for Sear. Back for Sear again. Now forward looking for Tran. It bounces over her stick, and now D on the Burnaby Wildcat stick. Sear reads that play perfectly, and now she's going to skate it in. Sear cuts to the middle. She goes through the first player and tries to drive the net. Play puts out to the outside, though. Tran with it on her stick. Tran cutting towards the net. She gets through the first player and puts her shoulder into the next one, but bounces off as the puck goes to the corner. And now from the corner back out, and now we have a race the other way as the Burnaby Wildcats might get a breakaway here. Now a shot, straight stick there by Sear to make sure that shot had nothing on it, as the Wildcats had a good chance there. Ravens from behind their goal, they go around to the far side. Sear picks that up. Sear tries to chip it forward. That hits a body, and now she's going to force it up the wall. Ends up getting picked up by the Ravens, and they get it to the blue line, and now Tran gets it out. Down into the Ravens zone it goes. Tran steps up to try and get a hold of it as the Ravens are needing a change. The Wildcats come down the near side. A good stick there by Sear, but it ends up on the tape of one of the Wildcats. They take a shot, and that's blocked. And now the Ravens get control of it and get it out into the neutral zone. It goes back into the Raven zone, and Hernandez drops it back for Sear, who comes cross ice. We have 3 Sears on the ice right now, so it's Sear to Sear to Sear, and now forward to Hernandez, and Hernandez works her way to the outside. Now a shot right on, saved by the goaltender who covers the rebound. And we get a stoppage of play with 4 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the second period. Miguel to take the face-off for the Richmond Ravens. They got Nishi and Amade back on the blue line. He gets the wing stick. She shoots it right on. Save made by the goaltender. Miguel's going to get it on her stick. Miguel trying to find Nishi, but that gets off of a foot into the outside. Burnaby takes it. Wing puts some pressure on. Wing turns, stops it. Now a shot on net. Saved by the goaltender. It ends up on Amade's stick. Amade from behind the net. She's going to put it up the near side for Basquet. Basquet tries to stop it. Now Basquet battling for it. She's got Miguel and Wing helping her. Comes out to Miguel, and Miguel, she tries to cut to the middle, and now she gets it out into the neutral zone. Miguel continues to fight it forward. It ends up on the defensive stick. She goes D to D. Now the play read by the Richmond Ravens, and they fire it forward. A good battle there by the defender. I think that was Nishi. Now the Ravens, Miguel pulls a puck off, and one player, now the second. She's going to carry it to the outside. Now back to the blue line. Nishi with it on her stick. She puts it to the slot. Wing fans on the shot as it goes just wide of the net. Now Wing down low. She tries to put it back out to the point, and that's going to be onto a Burnaby stick. They put it to the middle and read by the Ravens. The Ravens cut it to the middle. Sear's going to lose. Sorry, Tran's going to lose her footing. Now it gets chipped past Amade, and now the Wildcats bring it in on the near side. A shot from the near side, saved by the goaltender who holds on to that one. 3:02 remains in the second period. Face off to the left side of Mendoza. Trying to take the face off. She's got Kay and McDonald with her. Tran wins it back. Macy's going to pick that up. She looks for McDonald on the far side. McDonald tries to feather it forward for Tran. Now it gets into the feet of a bunch of players before it's picked up by the Burnaby Wildcats. A shot from the point, saved by the goaltender. 2:49 remains in the period. Mendoza hands the puck over to the ref, and the faceoff goes to the right side of Mendoza. Puck in behind the net. David after it. She puts it forward for Kay. Kay looking forward for Tran. It gets off of his stick and now picked up there by the Burnaby team. They shoot it towards the net, but it's wide. Now it goes out the far side onto the stick of McDonald, who fires it forward looking for a pass to Tran, but it ends up going the length of the ice. And we're going to have icing on the play with 2 minutes and 27 seconds remaining in the second period. Ravens ahead 1-0. Macy David stay on. Tran and McDonald are out there with Kay. Puck is dropped. Face off one full by the Burnaby Wildcats. They're going to fire it into the corner. It ends up coming back onto Tran's stick. Tran gets double teamed, and now she loses the handle on it. She forces the play to the outside. Now it comes back to the point. Read there by McDonald, and she's unable to get it forward, though. She did make sure the shot doesn't come off. Macy with a backhand for her D partner over to the near side. David, she's being chased, so David goes around behind her net. Now she stops up and puts it over to the near side for Kay. Kay unable to handle it cleanly, and a blocker saved by Mendoza as it goes out to the far side. From the far side, McDonald battling for it. She gets some help from Tran. Tran and McDonald working it over. Now Macy over for Kay. Kay able to touch it up, and it gets out into the neutral zone. And now the Ravens have to retreat back as the puck comes back in behind their goal line. Macy with it on her stick. Macy, she loses the handle on it, kicks it forward, and now onto the David stick. David forward for Kay. Kay gets it to center before it comes back into the Raven zone. Tran with it. Tran over looking for Macy. Macy now, she looks forward. She's going to fire it forward. She fights Tran with a great saucer pass. Tran to the outside. Now she's going to get a shot off, but it's blocked there by the defender. Puck back to the blue line for Sear. Sear tries to feather that forward for Kay. Kay looking for a place to go with it. She goes out to the point. Now walking over from the point is Sear. She drops it back looking for Hernandez. Hernandez into a shooting position, and it's tipped right on. It bounces around there in the back of the net as the Ravens convert on the goal. Tran from, I think, Hernandez and Kay on the side of the net here. 2-0 is the score with 1:02 remaining in the second period. Puck is dropped, face off one forward by the Richmond Ravens. They're going to battle through that. The goal scorer, Tran, still with it on her stick. Tran around to the near side. Now she tries to feather it to the slot. Ends up on the stick of the Hernandez. Hernandez with a couple of moves. Slices through a couple of purple jerseys, and now she's on the far side. She puts it back to the point for Sear with 40 seconds on the clock. It comes back to the near side for Hernandez. Hernandez down low looking for Tran. Now into the middle, the Burnaby Wildcats carry it out. They pass it to the middle, and now they get past the first player with a bit of a break. A shot right on, saved by the goaltender. With a partial break there, Hernandez makes a critical save with 26.6 seconds remaining in the second period. Yeah. Pardon me. Mendoza makes the save, corrected by the cameraman here. Puck comes back out to the blue line. From the blue line, shot towards the net. It goes well wide and out to the near side. Nishi's just going to fire it around the net over to the far side. It's going to be picked up by Amadei. She clears it forward, and now the right wing is going to carry it. Wing into the Burnaby zone. Now on the Basket stick as the play gets turned over the other way. Basket goes off the wall and makes sure she gets it deep. Burnaby back to pick it up in their own zone. And that's going to be it for the second period. Coming out of the second period, shots on goal are 17 for Burnaby, 15 for the Richmond Ravens. Further left, further left. Welcome back for the start of the third period where the Richmond Ravens are ahead 2-0 and 16 minutes on the clock. Mendoza makes her way towards the net with Amade, Nishi, McDonald, Sear, Miguel out there for the Richmond Ravens. Hernandez to take the faceoff here in the third period. She wins that one cleanly back to Sear. Sorry, to Amade. Amade clears it off the wall and gets back onto Amade's stick as the Burnaby team gets control of it. Burnaby now tries to come up through the neutral zone with it. Ravens read that one, and now Miguel has it on her stick. Miguel goes in to 1-on-3, and now she stops up. Loses a handle on it as the Burnaby team gets control of it. Burnaby looking for a place to go with it. Lay off the skate. It gets stopped at the blue line by the Richmond Ravens. Sear. Now from behind their own net, they go up the wall on the far side as the Richmond Ravens are on the middle of a change. Burnaby finds some open ice on the near side. They're going to work their way. Now Amade stops that and turns it back the other way. Now it's stopped up there by Burnaby. Sear gets it on her stick and puts it back down into the Burnaby zone. Burnaby, they chip it off the glass and held it in by the Ravens. Now D to D, the Burnaby team she's going to try and skate it. Now she gets it forward on her back end, and the Ravens get control of it. It comes back into the Burnaby zone. Burnaby doubles back, and now across seam pass. Ooh, just in front of Wing as she was a half stride behind that, or she would have picked that off in the slot. Now Burnaby down in the Ravens zone. They pass across the zone. It goes over to the corner of the far side from behind the net. David goes forward looking for Macy. Sorry, Basquette. Basquette with a quick move there. Now it gets chipped forward for Wing. Wing gets hit and she loses her glove as it goes flying. She gets up not worse for the wear, holding her hand though, I think. Now picked up there by Sear. Sear working her way up ice. She goes across looking for Wing. Wing handles the puck. Now she comes together with a couple more players before Burnaby puts it in the Ravens bench. Play continues as the Burnaby team tries to chip it towards the net. It goes in behind the net. Now Burnaby from behind the net. Now they're going to bring it around to the near side. Back to the point. D to D. Shot high in the air. And it lands just dangerously beside the net. David forward with it. It comes out to the middle. Macy's going to chip it right out of the rink. She's had enough of this. And we got a stoppage in play with 13 minutes and 48 seconds remaining in the third period. Face off in the Raven zone, trying to take it, but it gets back to the blue line. They shoot it towards the net. It's blocked and stops right in front. And now a shot from point blank goes wide of the net as it was rolling on the Burnaby Wildcats. Play continues and now it comes back in. Sear back to get it behind the net. She's going to chip it off the wall. Now McDonald back in to get it, and she gets some help from Tran. Tran battling the wall. She forces it up and out. She cuts to the middle now. She realizes there's open ice there now, and she cuts over to the far side. Tran stops up and tries to put it back onto Kay's stick. It gets onto the Burnaby stick, and now they carry it in behind their own goal line. It comes up the near side and back out to the middle where Sear and Sear are going after the defensive duo. And now Kay overskates it a little bit as it gets back into Sear's feet, and now Tran has it. Tran gets her head up a little bit there. Now she chips it into the zone as it comes off the wall and back into the neutral zone for Sear. Sear looking to go up ice for Sear. We have Sear tripled out there right now. Now Tran with it. Tran for Sear. Sear forward off of Hernandez. And it goes into the Raven zone, or into the Wildcat zone. Wildcats from behind their net. Now they try to cut to the middle with a little bit of patience there. They cut across the zone, being chased there by by Tran. Now Tran and Hernandez. Now it gets centered right on the stick of Sear. Sear shoots it just wide. Now Tran out the far side. Back to Hernandez. Hernandez opts to go to the blue line. Walking the blue line, Nishi shoots it towards the net. That hits some feet and goes out to the outside and onto the stick of one of the Wildcats. Wildcats chip it off the wall. Ravens steal that off. Now back out to the top of the circles where Amade just chips it into the corner as the Ravens start their change. From behind the net, Amade steps up on that play, comes to the slot. Sear puts it towards the net. It comes back to Sear. Now onto the stick of Wing. Wing hits a body in front, and it goes wide of the net. Now back out to the blue line where Hernandez is. Hernandez finds Wing on the near side. Wing shoots it towards the net, saved by the goaltender. She didn't get all of that one, and the goalie holds on to it with 11:36 remaining in the third period. Ravens ahead 2-0. Miguel out to take the face off. Puck is dropped. Face off one cleanly by Miguel. It gets up into the face of Wing, and she chips it to the corner as it fell to the ice. Now from the corner, the Ravens battling for it. It comes out, and now chip back to the blue line for Macy. Macy shoots it through traffic. It comes out near side. Now just on the short side, Ravens trying to put it into the net, but it's covered by the goaltender who holds on to that. As Miguel had a chance from her knees on the near side of the net, but couldn't pull the trigger. Miguel to take the face off. Puck is dropped. Miguel wins that one. Wing with a shot, hits Basket. Basket with a shot, hits a goalie. Now another one. She hits a goalie again as the puck comes over to the near side, and the Burnaby team carries it out to the neutral zone. Macy with it on her stick. She backs up. Now she puts it off the wall looking for David. David puts it off the wall, but it comes to the side of the net. Now picked up there by the Ravens. The Ravens opt to carry it on the near side. That's Wing with it. Wing loses the handle in the neutral zone as Burnaby comes back in. Burnaby working to a shooting position. They shoot it towards the net. That hits the side of the net. Macy puts it off the wall. And the Ravens get it out as Wing carries it up. Wing from the outside. Wing, she fights off a check as she carries it in behind. And now the play continues as it goes over to the far side. Tran off the bench comes in and she pitchforks it forward. Wing turns and fires it out to the slot. Ends up on the stick of Basket. Basket, Macy, and Sear combined to hold the puck in. Now the puck goes down low. Tran reverses it. Now she's looking for Wing. Wing loses the handle on it. Step up on that one. And there's a shot from the point. And it's held by the goaltender with Tran on the doorstep. 10:04 remains as the puck makes its way to the right side of the goaltender, deep in the Burnaby zone, trying to take the face off. Puck is dropped. McDonald gives chase. Tran out as well. From down low, the Burnaby team gets control of it briefly before Tran gets control of it. Tran with a quick move there. Now she cuts to the outside. Tran goes out down low, in behind the net. She loses the handle on it from behind the net. And now up the wall, the puck comes, and Sear's going to pick it up in her own zone. Sear being watched. She's going to come across ice looking for Kay. He gets just past Kay, and now it goes up in the air straight before the Ravens battle for it right in front of the penalty box. Kay digs it out and puts it to the middle where it's going to be picked off by the Burnaby Wildcats. Burnaby holds it in the zone, and now Sear in after it. Sear, she's going to fire it around to the near side looking for McDonald. McDonald lets that one go, and it gets to the blue line, but then put back in by Burnaby. The centering attempt picked off by Sear, and now Tran has it. Tran, she's going to cut to the outside with a good move there, and now she's got some speed through the neutral zone. Tran cutting through the neutral zone. She's going to fire it deep as her and McDonald make their way to the bench. Play in down low. Kay puts some pressure on, and now the Ravens turn it over briefly. Sear fires it in. Tran gives chase onto the stick of the Burnaby Wildcats. It goes up the wall, and the Ravens get control of it. The Ravens now put it over into an open wing on the near side down low. Hernandez gives chase. It gets reversed around over to the far side. From the far side, he comes up the wall, and now Burnaby with it. Burnaby gets to the blue line before the Ravens hold it there. Sear for Hernandez. Hernandez in her feet. She gets it back to Sear. Sear over for Sear. Sear down low for Tran. Tran lets it go for Hernandez. Comes out that far side. Hernandez puts it into the slot just off the reach of Sear. Now the Wildcats carry it into the Raven zone. Wildcats from the outside. They try to drop it back to the blue line. The Ravens try to read that one, but the first one there is a Wildcat. It gets back in behind the net. Sear chips it over into an open wing, and now comes back out to the point on the far side. From the far side, shot towards the net. Hits a body in front. Now a save made. Oh, the rebound finds the back of the net with 8 minutes remaining in the game. Ravens are 2, Wildcats 1. Wing basket and Miguel out there for the Richmond Ravens. Amade and Nishi on the blue line. Puck is dropped and it's carried to the outside by the Richmond Ravens. Now on the stick of the Burnaby Wildcats. Ravens pick it up and put it to the outside. Chip forward by Wing. Now getting some help from Miguel. She puts it back for Amade. Now back to Miguel. Miguel working it up the wall. She's trying to cut to the middle now. Miguel fires it forward. It goes off of a player and on to Basquet's stick. Basquet tries to feather it forward for Wing, and that's stopped by the defender. Now back to the blue line. Amade holds the blue, and she chips it in the corner. Basquet in after it, but Burnaby has it. Burnaby with some speed into the neutral zone. They carry it to the outside now. Players come together, and now there's going to be a penalty called against the Richmond Ravens. Two-minute body checking called against the Richmond Ravens, Nishi, as she makes her way to the box. And the Ravens on the penalty kill with 7 minutes and 16 seconds remaining with a 1-goal lead. Tran out to take the face off. We have Tran, Macy, and David out there. Face off won by the Wildcats. They get a shot towards the net, hits the bodies, and comes out the near side. Now they try to feather it into the slot. Macy's having none of that. She fires it, but hits a body and can't clear. And now the Wildcats with it. Wildcats back out to the point. From the point, they put it in the slot. Now from the slot, great save made by the goaltender. Play continues, and Macy, I think, just pulled that out of the air to save a goal there herself. Puck into the corner. From the corner, the puck comes out and now fired down the ice by the penalty killers. Tran gives chase deep in the Burnaby zone. Burnaby now working on their breakout. They cut through the zone now and out to the blue line where they get their stick lifted by Hernandez. Hernandez carries it a bit and then she puts it deep. Hernandez and McDonald out there for the forechecking penalty killers, and it gets back onto the stick of Sear. Sear fires it down ice. It's going to be right on the goaltender who makes the save. The rebound onto the defensive stick. Now it gets cleared out to the neutral zone where it's on Amade's stick. Amade fires it down, and it's picked up there by the Burnaby Wildcats. Wildcats into the neutral zone. Play read by the captain, McDonald, and she puts it into the Richmond bench. 5:58 remains in the game. The Ravens ahead 2-1. They still have 42 seconds remaining in a penalty. To Nishi. Miguel to take the face-off. Puck is dropped, face-off one to the wall. Stepping up on that is Sear. Miguel comes to help out her defensive partner. And now the puck gets back out to the blue line. Held there by the defender. Wildcats looking to set it up, and now they do. Wildcats with a shot towards the net. Saved by the goaltender. Rebound picked off with a shot, but it goes well wide of the net as the Burnaby Wildcats now cycle around. Now a shot out front, bounces around in the slot. Now the Ravens get it out to the blue line as the Wildcats regroup. Now a shot from the short side. Goaltender makes the save there easily. And she holds on to that one. A good positional save there by Mendoza. And the faceoff will be to the left side of the goaltender with 12 seconds remaining in the power play for the Burnaby Wildcats. Puck drop faceoff won by the Burnaby Wildcats. They walk their way in and now pass it over to the near side. Player's going to shoot it. That's blocked by Sear. Puck to the point now. Wildcats over to the near side. Ravens are now 5-on-5. They shoot it towards the net. Burnaby now over to the near side. They walk their way out into the slot. Now the puck gets cleared onto the stick of one of the Burnaby team. They shoot it towards the net, but it goes well wide. Play continues as bodies fly. And now the puck goes off the wall and onto the stick of the Burnaby team. Miguel putting pressure on. Dug out there by David. Now back over to Tran and into Miguel's feet. Tran pulls it out. Now she loses the handle on it. It comes to the goaltender. And now Macy. She loses the handle on it. Now from the far side. The player turns hard, and now from behind the net, she tries to put it back out to the point. It's held down low. Shot put towards the net. Macy clears it to the wall on the far side. Now the Ravens are going to put it all the way down the ice. It's going to be on net, so there are no icing on the play as the Ravens change all 5 players. Tran with some speed. She's going to pick that up. Tran keeps it down low, and now go back out to the blue line. Sear steps up on that. And now Tran, and now Kay. But the Wildcats pick it up and they carry it in behind their own net. Wildcats pass it over to the far side. Ravens step up on that. Now it gets out to the neutral zone. Ravens backhanded forward. Now Kay has it. Kay chips it forward looking for Tran. Tran tries to dig it out of the feet of the Wildcats. Now the Wildcats get control of it. Wildcats working their way up ice. Wildcats double back. Now the Ravens get control of it. Ravens take it back in behind their own goal line. Now it comes to the near side. Ravens with it. Now it's Wildcats shoot it towards the net. Good save made there by the goaltender. Puck chipped off the wall and now down into the Burnaby zone. Burnaby looking for a stretch play. Puck out to the middle, and now the Ravens read that one. Ravens just can't quite get control of it. Basquette gets it on her stick and fires it back down low. Burnaby off the wall. Wing reads that one. Wing steps out. Now comes back to the blue line. Shot bounces its way to the goaltender. She makes the save. Wing with it on her stick. Wing in the corner. She tries to put it back down low onto the stick of one of the Burnaby team. Now they get out to the blue line before the Ravens hold that. Basquette tries to chip it in. She loses her footing, but the play goes to the outside. And now coming down through the neutral zone, Burnaby's bringing it. Burnaby working their way in. Shot blocked there by Sear. Now chipped around to the near side. 2 minutes and 40 remaining in the period. Shot towards the net. It bounces around into the slot. Now cleared down ice by the Richmond Ravens. It actually might not have enough for icing as it twists and turns and, just enough. Just enough in that snow that's out there after nearly an hour of skating on it. We have 2 minutes and 28 seconds remaining in the period. Face off down in the Raven zone. Hernandez out to take the face off. She wins that one cleanly back over for Amadei. Amadei from behind the net. She backhands it forward. Now chip forward looking for Hernandez. It gets on the defensive stick for the Burnaby Wildcats. Ravens, now they put it back the other way. Tran puts it off the wall and it ends up on Sear's stick. Sear with lots of room. She works her way towards the net. Shoots. Saved by the old goaltenders. It goes out the other side. Now Tran with it. Tran, she puts it to the middle looking for Hernandez, but that's picked up by a Wildcat, and the Wildcats work their way into the middle. Now Wildcats try to come right up the middle of the ice. Picked up there by the Ravens, though, as everyone stopped and looked at the puck, and Sear just picked it up and walked away with it. Sear gets it in down low, now Lou turns it over as the Wildcats get it behind their own net. Wildcats try to walk back up the ice, and it gets to the neutral zone. Now the Ravens come across seam for Sear. Sear's going to chip it deep, and she's going to go for a change. McDonald off the bench gives chase. 1:34 remains in the game as McDonald watches and was happy to let that player stand behind the net. Now the play comes up the near side and out to the middle. Now we have an odd man rush, 3-on-1. Now a 2-on-1. Now a shot. No, what a big play there made by Macy to make sure that shot doesn't come off. Now from the slot, there's a shot. Well wide, well high as it goes out the far side. Now it comes through the blue paint and over to the near side. The net is empty at the far end. McDonald, she's going to get it out of the zone on the far side. Tran gets chased. Tran happy to hold it just on the neutral zone. Now it comes into the Raven zone. McDonald with a stick lift attempt. Now back in for Macy. Macy tries to hold it down low. Now for McDonald. Back out front onto Miguel's stick. Miguel fires it. That's off a body. And now Tran is off to the races. A breakaway with an empty net. She makes no mistake with 36.9 seconds remaining in the game. Tran extends the lead by a goal, another goal. We're 3-1. Hernandez out to take the face off for the Richmond Ravens. Puck drop face off won by the Burnaby Wildcats. Ravens put some pressure on with 30 seconds remaining. Wildcats out to the far side. Now puck gets in the linesman's feet. Now back down low. Hernandez is going to take her time with it. Hernandez chips it around looking for Tran on the near side. Tran with it. She's going to get it out of the zone and into the neutral zone. That's going to cause the Burnaby team to have to touch up. Tran eats it in the neutral zone, and now Sear has it on her stick. Sear carries it to the far side. She just chips it deep with 6 seconds remaining on the clock, and that should do it for the game as the Ravens are going to come out with a score of 3-1. Shots on goal, 25-24 in favor of the Burnaby Wildcats. A great job by the AP Mendoza.